Hi guys, Kyler here. And it is now time for us to do our holiday Lego advent calendars. Now, unfortunately this year, Lego decided not to make a Marvel one, so we're only gonna be doing a Star Wars calendar, which is gonna lead to us probably releasing them not daily. So I'm thinking maybe 8 at a time, but we'll see how that goes. So anyways, without much further ado, it's nice to see y'all and let's hop into it. So yeah, anyways, like I said, normally Lego does 2 calendars that I am interested in, which is usually the Star Wars one, and then either just a normal Marvel calendar or a Marvel Spider-Man calendar. But this year, they only did the Star Wars one. I heard they replaced the Marvel with Minecraft. So, I mean, if you're interested in Minecraft, good for you, but not quite my thing. Anyways, though, without much further ado, we're going to hop into day number 1, and we have a little guy from, I think, The Mandalorian? Dog, I don't know. All right, well, no need for a sped-up version of me building this because it's just one piece. If you look, he has little goggles that are molded in, and yeah, it's just a one piece that just like fits on a normal Lego brick, or Lego stud rather. And I really don't have much to say about this. He actually is on the top of the packaging and it says his name is Babu Frick. But other than that, I don't really know much about this guy. We are going to be using our standard, ranking system that we've been using. So I think today I'm going to give this guy a B-. Usually we don't get too much into the minuses or pluses, but he really would be a C+ or B-, but I think I'm just going to give him a B-. It's pretty cool, but at the same time, there's nothing to build, and I feel like on the first day you'd want something to build. All right, folks, we are now moving on to day number 2. And in day 2, we have... looks like a little coffee stand. All right, so there we have it. What appears to be maybe like a coffee stand? I don't know about this one. There is this little display panel, which I guess does give it some elements of this being kind of a Star Wars thing, so good for that. But still, I am glad I was able to build something, but it's a little bit underwhelming. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a D. If it was a little more Christmassy or a little more Star Warsy, it would have got a higher ranking. But for now, I'm just going to give this a D. All right. Now we are moving on to day number 3. Let's see what we got. In day 3, we have C-3PO with the red eyes. All right. All right, and there we have it, C-3PO with the red eyes. Off the top of my head, I don't for sure remember where the red eyes are from. So I don't know, yeah, call me a fraud of a Star Wars fan. But I do think the context of him having red eyes was he had gotten into like some Sith language or tried reading a Sith thing and turned evil. So I don't know. But overall, this is a really nice rendition of C-3PO. If you look, he has the, silver leg, which I think implies that this is definitely from post New Hope. I don't know. I need to get my Star Wars lore together. But either way, this is a really cool figure. I do like that the legs have, print on them. The back is nice. And overall, it's not really Christmas themed, but this is the type of quality you would hope from a calendar like this. So for that reason, I'm going to give it an A. Definitely the best thing so far in the first few days, but I do think there's definitely another level that we can tap into. So for now, this is an A. All right, so far, yesterday was definitely the strongest thing we've gotten. So let's hope that that trend continues with day 4. And in day 4, we have a droid of some sort. Interesting. All right, folks, and there we have it, some kind of droid. This is kind of, a cute little build. I really don't have a lot to say about him. I wish I knew his name, but again, my lack of Star Wars knowledge is getting exposed today, I guess. But overall, this is a nice little build as he falls apart, but still, that was operator error. But overall, this is a nice little build. I think I'm going to give him a B rating. It's another one where it's kind of might be a B minus, and maybe I'm just in a good mood somehow. But yeah, I think he's going to get a B rating. Overall, not bad. And I really do wish I knew his name because it's kind of a nice little droid. So things weren't too bad yesterday. Let's see what we have in day 5. And in day number 5, we have... Dog, what in tarnation is this? All right, folks. And there we have it. I guess this is a chair. I try to usually not pay too much attention to the packaging, but if you look, you can see that it appears that C-3PO sits on said chair. So let's just put him in the chair because my thoughts on this are not good. I do not like this. I'm not going to hold y'all. One, if it is a chair, the proportions are crazy because, like, you know, if you think C-3PO, we're going to assume is probably somewhere close to 6 feet tall. And, like, this chair, like, he'd have to, you know, jump to get in there. And 3PO's not very agile. So I don't know what's going on here. Also, there's no, like, you know, significance that I can think of historically to C-3PO having some sort of a chair like this. And if you look on the package, it shows the little feller Babu Frick sitting on the edge of it, and he can kinda, but not really. So I think I'm gonna give this an F. There's no Star Wars thing really that I see that makes this like, oh yeah, that's a Star Wars thing. And I'm just, to be frank, I am not impressed with this. So I'm gonna give this an F. If I find something out later, like maybe there's some significance I'm missing, maybe I would change my rating, but I think for the sake of today, this is a fail. Hopefully day 6 will be a little better. And in day 6, we have some kind of cleaning droid, it appears. All right, folks, and there we have it. Some sort of a cleaning / maintenance droid. He kind of has some gonk droid-like qualities, but I don't think that's exactly what it is, but maybe it's a cleaning variation. I don't know if it's just because it's so much better than yesterday, but I actually really like this. First of all, it was a nice build. I definitely felt like I had to put a little effort in to, you know, put it together. And then also, you know, this is just Star Wars. And, you know, so far, only half of the builds that we've made have really been identifiable as Star Wars builds. So to have a build like this really seems great, I guess. But again, I really like this droid. I think I'm gonna give it an A. Overall, it doesn't do anything super duper special, but I just really like it. And I like, you know, the broom it came with, and it comes with some sort of little spoon thing. So yeah, overall, I'm gonna give this droid an A rating. If we're doing minuses or pluses, it'd probably be an A minus, but still, I really like this one. All right, folks, and now rounding off the first week, we are doing day 7, and in day 7, we have... Ooh, it looks like Ahsoka Tano's R2 unit. I wish I remembered his name, but I don't off the top of my head. All right, folks, and there we have it. I think this is named R7 and is Ahsoka Tano's R2 unit, but I could be completely off in that. Overall, you know, it's a standard R2 unit. I actually have a lot of these from over the years. And this one's not super special. I mean, it is green and red, which could be some, you know, Christmas theming in that. But overall, you know, it's a nice little figure to have. I kind of would have preferred an R2-D2 to maybe go with 3PO, but I guess we've gotten that previous years, so maybe they wanted to switch it up a little. But overall, not bad. I'm going to give this a B rating. You really can't go wrong with an R2 unit. And yeah, overall, not bad. Now for the final day of this video, we are hopping into day 8. And in day 8, we have, your guess is as good as mine. All right, folks, and there we have what appears to be some sort of maybe Imperial probe droid. It just doesn't look like a probe droid. This has to be something different. but I honestly cannot identify it. But I am going to go out on a limb and say I think this is some kind of a droid. Overall, it's not the worst build, but I'm also not super impressed with it. But I think just because of that alone, I'm going to give this a C rating. Overall, not bad, but still I can't identify it, and maybe that doesn't mean as much as it used to, but I don't know what this is. All right, folks, and there we have it. The first 8 things in the advent calendar. Overall, I think the best thing we got so far, low-key, might have been this Gonk Droid thing or 3PO. But overall, not bad builds. Nothing to really complain about other than this chair right here. But overall, I think this calendar's pretty good so far. I am a little surprised that there haven't been any spaceships yet. That's usually kind of a staple of these Star Wars calendars. But I don't know, maybe there aren't any this year. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Be on the lookout for part 2 of this series. Be sure to hit that notification bell. And yeah, just thank you all for watching and still supporting me. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.